I have a new girlfriend now, and I'm moving in with her. We're getting a divorce, and you should stay with your parents. I don't need you anymore. If you want, you can live with my parents and take care of the house. Liam, you understand. My in-laws and my husband laugh at me. They're awful people. But for me, this is better. So all of you need to leave. My name is Liam, and I'm 35 years old. I work in an office and have dedicated my life to my career. After college, I joined a large company and worked hard for 13 years, earning promotions along the way. Now I'm a department manager, and I have a great boss and a talented team. Work is fulfilling, but my personal life hasn't been. I had a boyfriend in college, but after starting my career, I stayed single. Concerned for me, a friend invited me to a dinner party, where I met Ethan. He was kind, had a nice smile, and we had a lot in common. We became friends, exchanged numbers, and started going out to eat together. Eventually, he told me how he felt, and we started dating. We got along well. He proposed, and we got married. I was overjoyed to marry the man I loved so much. Soon after, I visited his parents' home. They welcomed me warmly. Liam, it's wonderful to meet you. We can't believe someone as lovely as you is marrying our Ethan, they said with tears in their eyes. We're so proud of our son for bringing such a good woman here. Hey, Mom and Dad, cut it out. You're scaring Liam. Oh dear. If you really feel that way, you can say so. It's just a compliment, so don't worry. His parents were just as friendly and easy to talk to as he was. Liam works for a big company, right? Yes, she does. It's impressive to see a woman who works hard. Will you stop working after you're married? No, I plan to keep working. Well, having a stable job at a good company is a good thing. I felt relieved. Some of my friends had mothers-in-law who pressured them to quit their jobs, believing a wife's duty was to support her husband. I was grateful that my future mother-in-law seemed understanding and kind. After we greeted my parents, we got married. I was excited about our new life together. My husband moved into my house, and we began our life as newlyweds. I was thrilled to spend all my time with him at home, and to have him there when I returned from work. 8 months later, my husband brought up something he wanted to discuss. I'd like us to live with my parents if you're okay with it. What do you mean, live with them? They're getting older, and I'm worried about them. I understand. My parents are around the same age, but my brother and his wife are living with them now, so they're taken care of. Since you're an only child, it makes sense that you're concerned about your parents. Are we moving in with them? Yes, that's the idea, but I'm not sure if there's a spare room available. They use every room for one reason or another. Actually, if you're okay with it, I think it would be a good idea to renovate my parents' house and turn it into a duplex. A duplex? Yeah, it could be more affordable than buying a new house. We'd have a nice spacious home and still maintain our privacy, right? I think so too. It sounds like a great idea. My in-laws are nice people, and living in separate units would make things less stressful. Great. I'm glad you're on board. My parents will be thrilled. I was happy to see my husband so pleased. When my in-laws visited later, they were very grateful too. They were such a kind and cheerful family that I didn't mind the idea of living close to them. Soon after our discussion about renovating their house, my husband surprised me with a remark. Actually, I need to ask you a favor. Could you pay for the remodeling? You mean cover the entire cost? Yes. Why? My husband seemed uneasy. The truth is, we're in debt. I was stunned. Neither my husband nor his parents had ever mentioned this, not while we were dating or even after we got married. How much debt are we talking about? About $250,000. What? I thought it might be a few tens of thousands. But that's a lot more than I expected, I exclaimed. It must have started small and just kept growing. Even if I wanted to help pay it off, it sounds impossible. My parents are already living on a pension, and the debt keeps piling up. I see. I couldn't hide my shock and disappointment at this sudden revelation. Liam, I need your help. Will you assist me in paying off my father and father-in-law's debt? They're struggling financially, and my own income isn't substantial either. But doesn't that make it difficult for us to renovate the house and live together as planned? No, that's still important to us. You've asked me to cover the remodeling costs and my father's debt, which amounts to $250,000. I understand these are tough decisions, but I want to build a life with you, Liam. I want to support my parents. I love both of them, and I love you. I hate to ask this, but if you truly love me, please help me out. I promise to repay you gradually. I was deeply upset. My husband and his parents had no one else to turn to but me. I knew my husband loved me sincerely, but I felt blindsided by this. Love can sometimes make us overlook such challenges, I thought. All right, I'll take care of it, I reluctantly agreed. After my husband expressed his gratitude and shook my hand, he shared the news with my in-laws. Later, they came to our house to apologize. My mother-in-law was so moved that she even shed tears of joy. I have to give this my all, I decided. Taking on my in-laws' debt was now my responsibility, and I was determined to manage it. Although I had some savings, I was hesitant to pay the full amount all at once. So, I used $60,000 from my savings and planned to pay the rest in installments. During our discussion on repayment, I laid out my plan, and my in-laws agreed it was fair. Why don't you transfer the money directly into the debt repayment account? We're not very good at managing finances, and I'm a bit nervous about handling such a large sum, my husband suggested. My in-laws nodded in agreement. Transferring funds to their account and then to the repayment account would have been a hassle. Since it was a substantial amount, I wanted to avoid any confusion, so I agreed to transfer the money directly. Once everything was settled, my in-laws looked visibly relieved. Now, we don't have to worry about the monthly debt payments. It's been really stressful. Dad, Mom, you should really thank Liam properly. I can't count how many times I've thanked you. I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful that Liam is my son's wife. No, please. It's okay, I insisted. I'm just happy to see you both relieved. However, deep down, I felt a bit uneasy, worried they might see me only as a financial resource. Despite this, I was committed to caring for my husband's family. With their happiness in mind, I began making the payments, and we renovated our house into a 2-family home. We moved in together, and it was a beautiful, spacious place. My in-laws were thrilled, and my husband's eyes sparkled with joy in our new home. I enjoyed cooking in the new kitchen and appreciated the renovations. Living closer to my job made things more convenient, cutting down my commute and giving me more time for personal pursuits, like studying. Every day, I worked tirelessly to pay off the debt. But something was bothering me. My husband wasn't contributing at all to his parents' debt. despite his promise to help. He never used any of his earnings for it. When I asked him about it, he claimed his salary wasn't enough. I asked to see his pay stubs, but he refused, keeping me in the dark about his income. For about a year, I worked hard to reduce the debt. One day, my in-laws asked about the remaining balance. If it's been a year, you must have made some progress on the debt, right? We've managed to pay off about $60,000 this year, so there's still roughly $18,000 left, I explained. My in-laws were astonished. What? You've already paid off that much? Liam, that's incredible. At this rate, you'll clear the debt in about 5 years. I'm determined to keep working hard until it's paid off, I assured them. Thank you so much, my husband's parents said, crying tears of joy. Seeing them so happy made all the hard work worth it. A few days later, something unexpected happened. I had to work extra hours, so I told my husband I'd be home late, but the work went smoothly, and we finished on time. I hurried home, planning to cook dinner for my family. When I opened the door, I saw my in-laws. Oh, my in-laws are here, I thought. I walked toward the living room and overheard them talking with my husband. You were smart to marry her, Ethan. You did well. I can't believe she's so wealthy. When I found out she works for a big company, I made sure to be careful and win her over. You should appreciate her more. Wow, you're one of the reasons for that debt. What? But I owe the least. What are you talking about? How much did you spend on horse racing? Your gambling is out of control. I hit the jackpot once in a while, so sometimes we were actually ahead. How can we be ahead when we owe $250,000? But at this rate, we'll be able to pay off the debt and get back on track. That's really great. And she even remodeled our house. I've got a really good wife. Well, I'll dump her once she pays off the debt. They all laughed. I was so shocked I couldn't move from the front door for a while. After calming down a bit, I made a loud noise closing the door and announced, I'm home. When I entered the living room, my in-laws and husband greeted me with smiles. Oh, Liam, welcome home. Good job, good job. Well, we're heading back to our room. Let's have dinner together again soon. Their gentle smiles terrified me because I had overheard their earlier conversation. It shocked me to see my husband pretending to be loving with that smile on his face. Why didn't you tell me you had to work late today? I did, but I finished earlier than expected, so I rushed home to cook dinner. I tried my best to stay calm until dinner, so my husband wouldn't suspect I had heard anything. Later, while he was taking a bath, I stayed in my room and cried alone. Crying as hard as I could fueled my determination to get back at my husband and in-laws. From then on, I acted quickly. I started preparing for divorce and made plans for my future. About 5 months passed. I pretended to be happy and told my husband that I had paid off my in-laws' debt. My husband was shocked. What? You paid off the debt? The $250,000. That was supposed to take about 5 years, right? I actually have quite a bit of money saved up, but I was afraid to pay it all off at once. So I started making gradual payments from my salary and savings. But now we're below $200,000, and I thought it would be better to clear the debt in one go. I see, he said. I asked, would you like to verify? And showed him the bank book. Oh, it's true. You paid $180,000 in one go. My husband tried to hide his excitement, but I could see how eager he was to leave. Wow, Liam. Thank you. My parents are going to be thrilled. He pretended to wipe tears from his eyes, but I knew it was just an act. Soon after, my in-laws arrived and expressed their gratitude. Thank you so much. We're so grateful to have met, Liam. You're like a blessing. If I hadn't known the truth, their thanks might have made me happy. But knowing their true feelings, I only pretended to be nice as I prepared for my plan. A few days later, my husband asked to talk to me. He looked very serious. "What's going on?" I asked. "I'm sorry, Liam, but you have to leave me." "What do you mean?" I acted surprised deliberately. "I have a new girlfriend, and I'm moving in with her, so I'm divorcing you. You'll go stay with my parents." Ethan's sudden statement shocked me. While I had overheard their earlier conversation about him planning to leave once the debt was paid, I didn't expect him to openly admit his infidelity. What does he mean by sending me to his parents' place? "I don't understand," I said. His demeanor turned cold. "You're not very understanding. I don't need you anymore, but you can stay here as a provider or housekeeper." Just then, the front door opened, and my in-laws walked in. "Ethan, did you finally tell her?" "Yes, I did. Wish I could have seen her face," Ethan replied. "You can move in with us. If you do the chores, we'll charge you rent, of course." They all laughed at me. "All of you need to leave," I said firmly. My in-laws scoffed. "What are you talking about? Have you forgotten I can easily pay for the house renovation myself? I changed the house title to my name, so I have the right to decide who stays and who goes." They were stunned when they remembered the house title was in my name now. "I'm sorry, but you can't live here anymore. If we divorce, you'll be strangers," I told them firmly. My in-laws realized the gravity of the situation, but my husband, not wanting to back down, argued back. "But you took on our debt and paid it off. You're the one losing money. If we didn't have debt, we could afford to move out." My in-laws and husband nodded in agreement. "Thanks for letting us live in this nice house while you paid off our debts. I'm sorry, but I didn't pay off the remaining $80,000 debt." "What? But your bank book showed money missing." "That money came from a separate account I managed. The debt remains at $180,000. I delayed the collection process by making large payments, but the remaining amount is still owed, and you're responsible for it." They were stunned. I didn't stop there. "Ethan, you admitted to cheating, so you'll need to pay. I'll also seek compensation from your partner for the affair." "Oh no, she only stayed with me because she thought I had money and a house. If I have to pay alimony, she'll leave me." "That's not my concern. Actually, I'm sorry. Please don't leave us," my husband pleaded. He feared losing his lover, while my in-laws feared the $120,000 debt I had paid on their behalf, through my lawyer. They stood frozen, realizing the gravity of their situation. I pursued divorce and alimony through legal channels. I also sought compensation from his lover and reimbursement of $120,000 from my in-laws for what I had paid. The renovated house sold for about $400,000, located in a prime area, and was bought by a family looking for a duplex. After paying off the $120,000 debt and spending $200,000 on renovations, I made a profit of $80,000 from the sale. In addition to that, I received alimony from my ex-husband, which greatly improved my financial situation. I also received the $120,000 payment from my ex-parents-in-law. In the end, I came out ahead in this ordeal. I believe it's only fair, given the damage and distrust I endured. Initially, I had savings from learning how to invest, with the aim of paying off my in-laws' debts quickly. With a solid financial base, I invested tens of thousands of dollars, and my assets grew substantially within a year. Alongside this, I received a raise at work, boosting my income. These financial preparations allowed me to take decisive action. Unfortunately, my former in-laws ended up in debt again and lost their house, but they brought it upon themselves through their deception. Those who deceive others must face the consequences. This experience has taught me the importance of caution and better judgment in trusting people. Moving forward, I plan to continue saving and growing my assets to secure a comfortable future. My goal is to create happy memories with genuinely trustworthy people. I started by enhancing my financial knowledge through courses and books on investing and personal finance. This foundation enabled me to make well-informed decisions about where to invest my money. As time passed, I diversified my investments across stocks, bonds, and real estate. This approach steadily and securely increased my wealth. I also seized opportunities to advance in my career. I pursued additional training and certifications relevant to my profession. These efforts paid off when I achieved a significant promotion and salary increase. The higher income allowed me to save more and adopt a more aggressive investment strategy. Throughout this time, I stayed focused on my long-term goals. I aimed to secure a comfortable retirement and ensure financial stability for my later years. I also wanted to be able to assist my loved ones if they ever needed financial support. This vision kept me disciplined in pursuing my financial goals. Eventually, my hard work paid off. I bought a beautiful home in a wonderful neighborhood and traveled to places I had always dreamed of visiting. More importantly, I built strong relationships with friends and family who genuinely cared about me. These connections brought me immense happiness and satisfaction. Looking back, I realized the challenges I faced with my ex-husband and in-laws taught me invaluable lessons. They pushed me to become more independent and knowledgeable about finances. They also highlighted the importance of surrounding myself with trustworthy and supportive individuals. In conclusion, I turned a tough situation into an opportunity for personal growth. By focusing on my financial well-being and personal development, I created a brighter future for myself. I hope sharing my story encourages others to take charge of their lives and pursue positive changes.